So in terms of why does the Ciarb, the arbitration, mash it, it's perhaps helpful first of all to say what a seat is. I'm assuming most people are familiar with the concept of an arbitration seat, but there may be some people who are not. The seat of an arbitration is, of course, the legal place of the arbitration. It's different sometimes to the physical place where the arbitration hearings take place, because you can have a legal seat which is different, and there may be certain circumstances where an arbitral tribunal or the parties wish to have the physical hearing in a different jurisdiction to that of the seat. But why does seat at the arbitration matter? It matters because it sets out the framework for the law governing the arbitration procedure and the process and rights relating to the enforcement of the arbitration award. Accordingly, affects a number of very important matters, such as which court has supervised the jurisdiction over the arbitration, on what grounds can one challenge the appointment of an arbitrator, and also what form should the arbitration take, and what are the vital elements for an arbitration award in that jurisdiction to be a valid arbitration. There are a number of features of what might be called a good seat or the safe seat of arbitration. And over the years, we've seen that you've got classic old seats like London and Paris, but in more recent times, newer seats have come along and have developed, like Singapore, Dubai. Of course, I'm from Dubai, so I've say lots of good things about Dubai as an arbitral seat. The Chartered Institute of Arbitrators had a working group in 2015 which put together a set of principles that set out what the features of a safe seat of arbitration are. And those became known as the London Principles. Now, there are 10 London Principles. I'm not going to go through each of the 10 principles because it's going to take a long time and we'll go over time. But perhaps if I just touch upon a few of those principles, in my view, perhaps the most important ones. So the first principle is that a good seat or a safe seat should have an arbitration law which provides a good framework for the process, limiting court intervention and striking the right balance between confidentiality and transparency. Another principle is that there should be an independent, competent and efficient judiciary. Now, we all know that one can have an independent judiciary, but that judiciary might not necessarily be efficient or competent. But for a seat to be a good for a seat to be a good seat or a safe seat, you need all three of those elements. The third of the London Principles is adherence to treaties for the recognition and enforcement of foreign awards and arbitration agreements. And the fourth of the key principles of Protect is immunity for arbitrators from civil liability for anything done or omitted to be done by them in good faith as an arbitrator. So, a few years ago, what happened in Dubai, and this caught the attention of the arbitral press, especially Global Arbitration Review, was that there was a law that was instituted that provided for arbitrators to have criminal liability in the event they did act with integrity or neutrality. That caused something of a consternation within the arbitral community, and I see Victor sitting in the front row. He'll remember this well, and also Nani Kadanani, who's in the audio, is also from Dubai. And it ended up in a situation where a lot of international arbitrators said, well, we're just not going to do hearings at Dubai. We're not going to come to Dubai and sit as arbitrators because we don't want to run a risk where a criminal complaint is made against us. we get our passports taken away, we can't use the jurisdiction. That was the negative part of it, if you like. But I'm something of an optimist, and Dubai is a very optimistic place. And so if one looks at it optimistically, the positive way of looking at it is, although this law was enacted, it was actually quite quickly repealed. So a number of us lobbied the UAE authorities and said that, look, this is actually a law that is bad use for arbitration. And the authorities responded, and within 2 years that law was repealed. So that just, I think it's helpful in showing then where you had a partnership between government, the judiciary, and the legal profession, you can actually set a framework and attempt for arbitration in a jurisdiction which is quite